All right, so before I start my presses, I usually plait the hair into sections, and I put the client under the dryer because what I learned in school is you don't blow dry a client straight from the bowl. You usually let them, you have to dry the hair up to 80%. And so you can see me there, I'm still kind of, you know, drying a little bit before I go in with the brush. So it can be that 80%. And also if you blow dry it just sopping wet, you don't have the tension when you want to go to that. You want to hit that root with that dryer so it can kind of straighten real good. You don't have that tension that you need. When it's a little bit more dry, you get the tension you need. And also what I found too is with my natural clients, you just trying to blow dry them straight out. A lot of my clients have a ton of hair. This baby, she's young, she's 13. Her hair is not as thick as I'm accustomed to working with, but my thicker hair, longer haired natural clients, I do plait them. It just makes things easier for me. And when you blow dry them, you can blow dry those lines out. But the plaiting helps. I've seen people try to blow dry people's just straight hair, all loose, flying everywhere. That's not cute. It makes a lot more work for yourself. It takes me less than a minute to spray that detangler that I use. I use Pravana. I use it's a great detangler. I'll have to get a picture of that on here. But I use the Pravana to detangle, and then I put it in the plaits and pop them under the dryer for about 10 minutes. Have you guys ever had a client say, well, my scalp still feels wet? That's why I do that, because otherwise you'll be blow drying forever trying to make sure that their scalp is dry. And it's a dual method for me, because their scalp gets fully dry under the dryer for 10 minutes. And then also that hair gets relatively to that 80% dry that I need. And if not, I'll go ahead and hit it with the dryer for a minute, like you see I've done with this little girl here. And it's a method that works for me. I hope it helps you guys out too. All right, let's keep going. All right, so now we're about to press this baby out. Amen. Here I'm spraying on the Big Sexy Hair 450 heat protectant. I really love it. I am a very little to no product silk presser. I don't like to use a whole lot of product on the hair. I do have clients who are super dry, and what I use on them, I don't do anything before. So basically my process is a shampoo, condition, and then I do my shampoos based on the condition of my client's hair and scalp. After this young lady, I did a lady's hair who she got a press. Her scalp was really, really dry. Her hair was okay though, so I formulated a conditioner just for her and a shampoo. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, I can use a whole line of shampoo and conditioners, but I have several that work for me for different things. So I actually use several different products. So yeah, here I'm going in with my pressing comb, because a silk press is not a silk press without a pressing comb. And y'all forgive me, this is my first video that I'm just learning angles. I'm learning how to get the right angle and not be in the way. find out where I can hook this camera, so my phone, so that I can get a good shot for you guys. So bear with me on that. Hopefully you can still see though. I'm hitting the roots of that hair with my comb. So the teeth of the pressing comb is used not to actually, because people say, well, why don't you just comb it straight through? If you'll notice, when I press the hair out, I'll show you on the next one. When I press that hair out, I use the teeth of the comb to separate, and then the back of the comb is what actually gets that hair straight. The teeth just do the separating, but the back does the work. So you can see I'm bending it. You see that? That makes it super shiny, super silky. Now, what if I just had just that back part without the teeth? Then you could have a mesh of hair that, have you ever flat ironed someone's hair and not combed it, or you just flat ironed a piece of hair that was curly? It's just a crunchy, flat mess. And so what the pressing comb, the teeth are for that straightening out, just that to get that hair tamed, spread out enough, and then you roll the back of that pressing comb on it, and it turns out beautiful. My client's mother is sitting there in the chair behind us. She's just chatting with us, and we're just having a great time. So yeah, I go through, I do the back section first. I'm a very precise stylist. I don't like hair flying everywhere. I like sections parted off so I can know what I've done. I can see things clearly and know what I need to do. And it also helps me to go pretty fast. This whole process, if it wasn't being fast forward, from the time I blow dried her to finish I think it was all about maybe 25 minutes. So it doesn't take me long to do a press. Even if your hair is longer and thicker, once I get you to the point past the blow dry, everything else is elementary. So yeah, continue to go on with me, y'all. Enjoy. Another thing I wanted to mention is why I don't use my pressing comb from the root to the ends. So the hair next to your scalp, right near your scalp and about an inch off, is your hot strand. And the hair that's kind of free on the ends, that's your cold strand. So if you've ever done hair color, you don't put that color right on that scalp immediately. Now bleach is different, but you don't put color on the scalp first. You put it on the ends first. You let it process up to a certain point, and then you go back in and you add it to the scalp. Why is that? Because the hot strand, there's heat coming off of your scalp, which makes that process go much, much quicker than the hair that's kind of hanging free at the bottom. It's that cold strand. It's that lonely hair down there. So what I do is I do a double press on that hot strand. Why? Because the natural heat that comes off of our scalp, I'll have clients I'll do color on and they're just sitting in the chair, but that scalp process is like that. Why? Because that heat that's naturally radiating, that's with no activity or anything. It's causing it to process quicker. So what I do is I do a double heat process on the hot strand, which is me pressing near the scalp, and then I'll go ahead and flat iron again near the scalp. I don't skip over that part because I just hit it with the pressing comb. I'll still go in and flat iron it and go down. And so the cold strand, it doesn't need as much. If you notice when you sweat and your hair is natural, you sweat and right at your scalp, it starts to expand and swell. Well, that's because that's your hot strand. So I give a little extra attention. I don't overheat. I don't singe the hair, but I just give it a little extra attention at the scalp because why? The scalp is the first thing to revert back when you sweat. And so my clients, their presses last 2 to 3 weeks. They love it. I have not had a problem with that. So that's why I do that. And the shampoo and conditioner is so key. If you notice too, she's got a beautiful shine already coming out. The shampoo, you shampoo well, you start well, then you end well. And I've had many times where when I had shampoo assistants working for me and they would shampoo my clients and that hair had that gunky feel or something was still in it, that oil or whatever, I send them back, say, hey, go, you need to redo this. Until I got introduced to Design Essentials Organic Cleanse. Oh my gosh, it's got oat protein, but that stuff is amazing. Look at the shine on her hair. It's beautiful. All I used on her was the heat protectant. That's it. I don't have any kind of cream or more, nothing's in there. It's just heat protectant because she has a beautiful natural shine. And I want her to have body and movement from the time she leaves until she comes back in 2 weeks to see me. So yeah, this is my process, y'all. Design Essentials is really good for that first shampoo. And when you're working with natural hair, whatever you take out, you need to put it back in. So Design Essentials does remove buildup. It does have the oat protein, the henna. It's not drying, which I love, but I still slowly build back up. So I have a mid-grade shampoo that adds a little moisture. And then that third shampoo is fully moisturizing, which is Care hydrating shampoo. And then I'll go into a conditioner, which is moisturizing. So by the time I've removed the buildup, then I'll go ahead and put it all back in. Not buildup, sorry, but I'll put moisture back into the hair by the shampoo and conditioner. If you don't start off right, your hairstyle is not going to end up right. I had a lady I was shampooing for, and I came in to work for her. This is when I was young, y'all, real young. I came in to work for her, and she had already shampooed somebody and conditioned her. And she said, can you blow dry her for me? I said, yeah. So I went in to blow dry her, and she had another shampoo girl. So I figured that the other girl had shampooed this girl. I didn't know the lady did it. Well, I blow dried this baby. I went to blow dry her, and there was a clump of conditioner left in her hair. And I was like, this, and I went to tell her, I said, your other shampoo girl, you need to talk to her because she left a clump of conditioner in her hair. And she said, oh, I did that. And I was like, oh, my bad. Well, the point is, like, if you really have to care at the shampoo level. You can't just start caring and hurry up and trying to get to the press. The press is the reward. The beautiful, shiny result is the reward of what you started with. It's, hey, that will preach. You hear me? However you start, your foundation is key. Your shampoo is important. So do well and stop using this over-the-counter cheap stuff for my fellow licensed cosmetologists. You get you some good products, spend the money on the shampoo because your results will not lie. And then your business will grow and everything will be well. All right. So I'm doing this left side. We're finishing up. But this young lady has some beautiful hair. It was a really good press. I'm super excited.